Welcome to History Uncovered, the podcast where we dive deep into the stories behind history's most unforgettable events. I'm your host, and today we're setting sail on a journey back to April 1912, to the tragedy of the Titanic. The Titanic wasn't just a ship. She was a symbol of human ambition and engineering, stretching nearly 900 feet long, weighing over 46,000 tons, and hailed as unsinkable. On April 10, 1912, she set out on her maiden voyage from Southampton, England, bound for New York City. Aboard were more than 2,200 passengers and crew, from wealthy elites in lavish first-class cabins to immigrants chasing a dream in third class. But just 4 days into the voyage, on the night of April 14, disaster struck. At 11:40 p.m., the Titanic collided with an iceberg in the North Atlantic. The ship's steel plates buckled, and water began pouring into her forward compartments. Despite her advanced design, the Titanic couldn't withstand the damage. The real tragedy, though, wasn't just the iceberg. It was the lack of lifeboats. The Titanic carried only 20, enough for about half the people on board. Many weren't even filled to capacity when they were lowered into the freezing sea. Panic, confusion, and disbelief filled the decks as the ship listed and began to sink. At 2:20 a.m. on April 15, just 2 hours and 40 minutes after the collision, the Titanic broke apart and slipped beneath the waves. Of the 2,200 people aboard, more than 1,500 perished, most from hypothermia in the icy waters. What makes the Titanic so haunting isn't just the scale of the loss. It's the way it exposed both the best and worst of humanity, the bravery of crew and passengers who gave up their seats for others, and the arrogance of a system that believed such a disaster could never happen. In the years that followed, the tragedy changed maritime law forever. Ships were now required to carry enough lifeboats for everyone on board. Radio operators had to remain on duty around the clock. And international ice patrols were created to monitor dangerous waters. The Titanic still rests on the ocean floor, more than 2 miles deep, as a silent monument to that night. Her story continues to fascinate us, not just because of the luxury, the fame, or the disaster, but because it reminds us of how fragile even our greatest achievements can be. This has been History Uncovered. Join me next time as we explore another chapter from the past that shaped our world. Until then, I'm your host, signing off. Welcome back to History Uncovered. I'm your host, and today we're looking at one of the most iconic disasters ever captured on film, the fiery end of the Hindenburg. The year was 1937. Airships, or dirigibles, were the future of luxury travel. Towering over 800 feet long, the German Zeppelin LZ-129 Hindenburg was the pride of Nazi Germany's fleet. Bigger than the Titanic and able to cross the Atlantic in less than 3 days, the Hindenburg was a floating palace, complete with dining rooms, promenades, and cabins for over 70 passengers. On May 3, 1937, the Hindenburg left Frankfurt, Germany, on what should have been a routine voyage to Lakehurst, New Jersey. On board were 97 people, passengers and crew, many eager to step into America's new age of aviation. But on May 6, as the Hindenburg approached its mooring mast at Lakehurst, something went horribly wrong. At 7:25 p.m., as the ship was being lowered, flames suddenly erupted near its tail. In just 34 seconds, the massive airship was engulfed in fire and collapsed to the ground. The disaster was broadcast live by radio reporter Herbert Morrison, whose anguished words, "Oh, the humanity," became forever linked to the tragedy. Newsreel footage of the inferno shocked the world, cementing the Hindenburg's place in history. Of the 97 people on board, 62 survived, a surprisingly high number given the scale of destruction. But 36 lost their lives, along with one member of the ground crew. The exact cause of the fire is still debated. The official investigation concluded that a spark ignited leaking hydrogen, the highly flammable gas used to lift the ship. Some theories point to static electricity, others to sabotage, though no evidence ever confirmed foul play. What's certain is that the Hindenburg disaster marked the end of the airship era. Public confidence in dirigibles collapsed overnight. Safer, faster airplanes soon became the dominant way to cross the Atlantic, and giant zeppelins faded into history. Yet the Hindenburg remains etched into our collective memory, not just because of the tragedy, but because it was one of the first disasters fully captured by modern media. Radio, photographs, and newsreel film made the event feel immediate, personal, and unforgettable. This has been History Uncovered Retro Edition. Today we looked at the fiery fall of the Hindenburg, a symbol of ambition, innovation, and the dangers of hubris. Join me next time as we continue uncovering the past, one story at a time. I'm your host, signing off.